Most wellness gurus are terrified of you seeing what really happens behind the closed doors of ultra-luxury longevity clinics.
Yeah, it is it's the ultimate curtain to pull back. I
Yeah.
mean, we are looking at a world where extreme wealth meets this almost frantic desire to optimize human biology.
Right, and welcome to today's deep dive. We are exploring a stack of sources today that includes a market forecast on the booming biohacking retreat industry, luxury promotional materials from an actual clinic in Italy, a medical breakdown from Mass General, and some foundational texts on human psychology.
That's quite the mix.
It really is, because the mission of this deep dive is to expose the gap between the viral aesthetic of these luxury biohacking retreats and the actual biological and, more importantly, psychological reality behind them. I mean, you see it everywhere now, right? The performative wellness trend, the ice baths on Instagram, the IV drips, the oxygen chamber.
Oh, totally. And I should point out, this isn't just some fringe internet movement anymore. According to the market data, the global biohacking retreats market is projected to hit $4.5 billion by 2028.
Wait, billion with a B?
With a B, yeah. It's a massive industry driven by a cultural obsession with personalized wellness.
Yeah.
But it raises this really fundamental question. Are these retreats actually improving human health, or are they just creating the illusion of elite self-improvement?
Well, let's find out by stepping inside one of these places. So we have the actual itinerary for the biohacking retreat at a place called Palazzo Fuji in Italy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and you look at the schedule, and some of these retreats look less like healthcare and more like a sci-fi Airbnb.
That is painfully accurate.
Right. Because for 9,070 euros, and by the way, that's just for a 6-night stay, you get meals curated by a Michelin 3-star chef, Heinz Beck. You get to drink therapeutic Fuji water, whatever that is,
Very expensive water.
obviously. And you get a vagus nerve activation massage, plus something called neurovisor mindfulness, and intermittent hyperoxic therapy.
Yeah, see, that last one sounds like you're training to colonize Mars.
Right. What does that even mean? Like, how do you biohack with oxygen?
So intermittent hyperoxic therapy
Mm.
is essentially an extreme form of altitude training, but, on your couch.
Okay.
They have you breathe through a mask, and the machine alternates between stripping the oxygen down to what you'd experience at a high mountain peak.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the hypoxic phase. And then it suddenly floods you with high concentrations of oxygen, which is the hyperoxic phase.
Okay, so it's deliberately suffocating you for a minute and then giving you a massive breath of fresh air. What is the actual biological mechanism there? Like, what is that supposed to do?
Well, the theory is that this rapid fluctuation stresses your mitochondria, the power plants of your cells.
Right.
By creating this controlled stress, you force the mitochondria to adapt. It theoretically clears out the weak or damaged ones and encourages the growth of stronger, more efficient cellular power plants. They claim it optimizes metabolic processes.
I notice you keep saying the theory is.
Yeah, I do, because that brings us to the medical breakdown from Mass General. When you look at the actual medical consensus on these core biohacking staples, the phrase that comes up repeatedly is, more high-quality research is needed.
Ah, the classic polite doctor way of saying, we don't know if this actually works.
Exactly. The sweeping claims of radical cellular transformation and life extension, they aren't definitively proven to the level the marketing suggests.
Okay, well, what about the vagus nerve activation massage? Because the vagus nerve is a real thing.
It is. The vagus nerve is basically the information highway connecting your brain to your gut. Think of it as the brake pedal for your nervous system. When you activate it, you shift your body out of fight or flight mode and into rest and digest. That is 100% biologically real.
I feel a butt coming.
But the catch is, you don't need a $1,000 massage to activate it. You know what else activates the vagus nerve? Deep, slow, diaphragmatic breathing.
Right.
Humming activates it.
Splashing cold water on your face activates it. Which actually brings me to the cold plunges and the saunas. Because Palazzo Fiuggi and basically every wellness influencer on the internet right now treats hot and cold therapy like it's some proprietary technology that they just invented.
Yeah, and the Mass General source is fascinating on this because it grounds these practices in actual history. Despite the fancy packaging, things like infrared saunas, which run from like 120 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and cold plunges, are essentially ancient Finnish practices.
Right, like Finns were doing this 100 years ago.
Exactly. They were sitting in hot rooms and rolling in the snow. It was a communal, accessible, very normal practice. And now it's been turned into this hyper-individualized luxury service.
Wait, I have to challenge the medical skepticism on this one thing, though. Are you saying there's no medical benefit? because every elite athlete on Earth is sitting in an ice bath after a game right now. Like, there is real science behind heat and cold exposure.
Oh, for sure. But there is a massive difference between acute recovery and these grand claims of longevity optimization.
Okay, unpack that for me.
So athletes use cold plunges because the extreme cold rapidly constricts their blood vessels. It flushes out lactic acid and aggressively reduces acute, localized inflammation in battered muscles. That is a proven physiological mechanism for recovering from a grueling physical event.
Right, so the biology works for specific use cases.
Yes. But the biohacking industry extrapolates that acute recovery tool into a promise of systemic anti-aging and total biological optimization for someone who just, sat at a desk all day. And let's look at the actual temperatures provided by Mass General for these retreats. The cold plunge pools are generally kept between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
Are you kidding? 50 to 60 degrees. That is literally just the temperature of the New England Ocean in the summer.
Yep.
People are spending the price of a car to sit in cold water. Ocean temperature water.
It's wild. And if you look deeper into the Palazzo Fuji program, the commodification of absolute basics gets even more transparent. They have an entire segment on the itinerary dedicated to hiking for longevity.
You mean walking? They rebranded walking outside.
Yeah, their promo materials call it a true workout for both body and mind, fully immersed in nature.
Humans discovered sleep, sunlight, and walking, and then somehow turned it into a luxury subscription. It's just brilliant marketing. You are paying $9,000 to take a walk and drink nice water.
I mean, if the biology doesn't justify the price tag, we really have to look at human behavior here. Why is this market growing at 15% a year? And why is North America leading this charge, driven heavily by people with really high disposable incomes?
Right. If you aren't actually buying a guaranteed longer life, what are you buying?
We have to look at sociology for that. Specifically, the psychology source brings up the work of sociologist Irving Goffman.
Okay.
Goffman developed a theory called impression management. He argued that we are all essentially actors on a social stage. We use props, costumes, and carefully chosen settings to control how other people perceive us. It's how we maintain a specific social identity.
So like putting on a front.
Exactly. In every social interaction, there is the front stage, where we perform for our audience, and the backstage, where we drop the act. Goffman gives the example of hotel staff being highly formal and deferential front stage with the guests, but then they go backstage into the kitchen to joke around and complain.
Right. We are always curating the impression we leave. You see this in everyday life all the time. Think about the person carrying the $8 organic kombucha into the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they could have easily drank it in their car before they walked in, but carrying it onto the gym floor, that's a front stage performance. It's a prop that signals to everyone else, hey, I'm the kind of person who cares about gut microbiomes and health.
Precisely. Now apply that exact mechanism to the biohacking market. These 5-figure wellness retreats aren't just health interventions, they are elite props. Our market forecast source notes this huge rise in corporate groups and executives booking these exact retreats for team building and performance enhancement. These highly curated, tech-heavy retreats serve as a massive front stage performance.
Oh, wow. So when a tech CEO or like a wellness influencer posts a photo of themselves hooked up to an IV drip or stepping into a cryotherapy chamber, they are signaling something very specific to their audience.
Exactly.
They're signaling discipline. They're signaling wealth and status. It's performative wellness.
Yep.
You aren't just optimizing your cells. You are buying an identity product. You're proving to the world that you belong to an elite tier of society, because a lot of wellness culture is basically rich people trying to out-negotiate mortality.
Out-negotiate mortality. That's a great way to put it. And that explains why the visual aesthetic of these places is so crucial. Because if it were just about the health benefits, you could take a cold shower in your own bathroom and go for a hike in your local municipal park.
But you can't post a picture of the local municipal park and get the same social currency as posting from a Mediterranean biohacking clinic, with meals from a Michelin star chef.
Yeah.
The setting validates the status.
I agree completely regarding the public performance aspect of it, but I do think we have to look at the other side of the coin too.
Right, because I get the status signaling. I understand why someone posts the photo. But privately, these people are tracking their sleep scores at 2 a.m. They are stressing over their blood sugar spikes when literally nobody is watching.
Right.
That's not for an audience. There is a much deeper anxiety at play here. Why are we so terrified of aging and honestly just being normal?
For that, we really turn to the foundational psychology sources we have. Started with Alfred Adler. Adler was a psychotherapist who developed the concept of the inferiority complex.
I feel like everyone throws that term around, but what does it actually mean in this context?
Well, Adler noted that feeling inferior is actually a completely natural part of human development. When we are children, we are surrounded by adults who are bigger, stronger, and smarter than us. So we naturally feel inadequate.
And that inadequacy is what makes a toddler try to walk, right? Or learn to speak. It's a normal engine for growth.
Exactly. Adler's essentially saying the inferiority complex is an engine that drives human progress. In a healthy, balanced psyche, when you achieve a goal or learn a skill, that feeling of inferiority is temporarily relieved. You gain confidence.
Okay.
But Adler warned that when a person has an imbalanced psyche, success never actually relieves those feelings of inadequacy.
Oh, man. And the biohacking industry basically breaks the governor on that psychological engine. It makes it rev until the mind just burns out.
Yes, it fuels an optimization addiction. The consumer is constantly sold this idea that they are fundamentally flawed or that their natural aging process is a disease that needs to be cured.
Right. They are told they're always just one red light therapy session or one hyperoxic breathing mask away from being good enough. The inferiority complex is systematically
The
monetized.
treadmill you can never get off because biology always wins eventually. You can't actually hack your way out of being a mortal human.
Mm.
Goalposts just keep moving.
It's exhausting just thinking about it.
And this layers perfectly with another psychological concept from our sources, Carl Rogers' theory on conditions of worth. Rogers warned that when we base our value, or when our parents or society base our value on meeting arbitrary external requirements, we inevitably feel unworthy.
Like conditional love.
Exactly. If a child is only praised when they get an A in physics, they learn that love is conditional on performance. They don't feel accepted just for existing.
Oh, this connects directly to everyday life right now. I mean, we have literally replaced our parents' conditions of worth with our smartwatches' conditions of worth.
Wait, how so?
Think about heart rate variability, HRV. Every biohacker and wellness influencer talks about it constantly.
Oh, yeah. And just to clarify the mechanism for everyone, heart rate variability is the measurement of the microfluctuations in time between your heartbeats. It acts like the shock absorbers of your nervous system.
Right.
A high HRV means your body can easily shift gears between stress and relaxation. A low HRV means your nervous system is stuck in stress mode, unable to adapt.
Exactly. It's a useful metric. But look at how we actually interact with it. If I wake up, check my wrist, and my HRV score is low or my sleep score is in a 99, I feel like I am failing at being a human.
Wow. Yeah.
The watch tells me I didn't recover optimally, and suddenly my whole day is ruined. I haven't even gotten out of bed yet, and I've already failed my conditions of worth. The wellness gurus have convinced us that simply existing isn't enough. We must be biologically optimized to be worthy of respect.
It's a really profound and honestly dangerous shift in how we view ourselves. Rogers believed that true mental well-being requires accepting yourself without those arbitrary conditions of worth.
Which is the exact opposite of what these retreats sell.
Right. The dark irony here is that people are flocking to these biohacking retreats to find wellness and extend their lives, but the very act of constantly monitoring, measuring, and trying to fix yourself induces a state of chronic psychological stress.
You are fighting a biological war against your own body. Which actually brings us back to the breath and mindset program in the Palazzo Fiuggi materials. Even the luxury retreat admits that lasting well-being cannot be built in a chronically stressed body.
Yeah.
But the stress is coming from the pressure to be perfectly optimized. It's this insane, self-fulfilling loop of anxiety.
And looking at the market data, there is absolutely no sign of this slowing down. With hyper-personalization, AI-driven diagnostics, genetic testing, the tools for measuring our perceived inadequacies are only getting more sophisticated and drastically more expensive.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, trying to navigate this wild wellness landscape? I mean, we've unpacked how this $4.5 billion industry has taken basic human necessities like eating well, taking a walk, experiencing hot or cold temperatures, and repackaged them into five-figure luxury identity products.
Yeah.
We've seen how intermittent hypoxia and vagus nerve massages are used as literal props in a master-level game of psychological impression management.
I think the key takeaway from combining the medical and psychological sources is this. There is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to be healthy. Eating well, exercising, those are undeniably good things.
Of course.
But as Carl Rogers points out, true well-being requires a foundation of self-acceptance. It's understanding the critical difference between caring for your body and treating your body like a malfunctioning machine that constantly needs expensive software updates to be worthy of love.
You are not a machine that needs a 9,000 euro reboot.
Well said.
Which leaves you with one final thought to mull over today. We've spent this deep dive analyzing the aesthetics and the signaling of modern wellness culture. But if you stripped away the Instagram posts, if you took away the AI diagnostics, the biometric rings, and the Michelin star chef, if nobody could ever know you were doing it and you were just left alone in a freezing pond in New England, would you still feel the need to optimize? Or is the true luxury finally allowing yourself to just be human, flaws and all?